Hello and welcome to this exclusive conversation on Bharat Bond ETF. The third tranche of the Bharat Bond ETF opens for subscription on December 3rd and ends on December 9th, offering a safe investment for risk-averse investors. All 10 years paper maturing in 2032 will be included in the third tranche of Bharat Bond ETF. For more insight into Bharat Bond ETF, joining me today is Mr. Dhaval Dalal, Chief Investment Officer, Fixed Income, Edelweiss Asset Management. Welcome, Dhaval.
Thank you, Gitu.
Dhaval, to begin with, why should I invest in Bharat Bond ETF April 2032, which is the maturing year, or other open-ended debt funds? What is
Well,
the benefit
Gitu,
of investing?
I think it's a very important question. And we have very, very strong argument in favor of investing in the Bharat Bond ETF, not only the current one, but also the previous ETFs that we have launched. See, the ETF, particularly the target maturity bond ETF and index funds, provide three powerful incentive to clients which are normally not available to investors in actively managed bond funds. Number one is the predictability of returns. Second, with regards to Bharat Bond ETF, is a low expense ratio. And the third being a very clear asset allocation strategy. Let me elaborate. Now, the target maturity bond ETFs and index funds that you have just mentioned, they normally invest in bonds which are maturing in a particular year. Any incremental money that we are going to receive over the life of this ETF is going to be invested in same type of bonds which are going to mature in a particular time frame. As a result of that, there is a significant amount of clarity on returns that investors are going to make depending on the date of investment, particularly for those investors who remain invested till the maturity of the ETF. This predictability of return is something that is not available in actively managed bond ETF, bond funds. Second, most powerful incentive is the expense ratio. As you are aware of the fact that the Bharat Bond ETF's expense ratio is 0.0005%. Okay. Now this compares with actively managed fixed income funds whose ratios are between 25 basis point to 50 basis point. Based on that, investors are going to save that kind of money not only for 1 year, but through the life of their instrument, assuming that they remain invested for the till the maturity of the ETF. As a result of that, money saved is money earned, right? And the third thing, as I mentioned, is that this Bharat Bond ETF comes with a very clear asset allocation strategy. As you rightly pointed out, it's only going to invest in triple rated bonds, which are going to mature between 15th April 2031 to 15th April 2032. So that way, come what may, investors know what my portfolio is going to look like. And we allow investors to look at their portfolio 100% transparency every single day on our portfolio. So these are the three most powerful reasons in my mind for investors to consider investing in the NFO of Bharat Bond ETF 2032.
Dhaval, what will be the investment philosophy? You said, you would be investing, the ETF would be investing in the AAA rated bonds. So how do you really select these bonds?
So, Gitu, this is, as you know, that Bharat Bond ETF is a Government of India initiative. So before the launch of the Bharat Bond ETF, the CPSE's borrowing requirements are being assessed. A number of CPSEs that we have approached, I think we approached almost 15 AAA rated CPSEs. Out of that, about 9 CPSEs have envisaged interest to borrow in 2032 tenure. You must appreciate that this is a slightly new tenure. Generally, in bond market, you see borrowing interest at the 3-year bench spot, 5-year spot, and 10-year spot, which corresponds to 2031. But this is a 11-year spot. This is again in line with our objective of development of corporate bond yield curve. So with their consent, a portfolio index is being drawn, which is being managed by the NSE. And now once we collect the money, this money that we're going to collect from the NFO is going to get invested in these 9 AAA rated CPSE issuers who are looking to borrow money in a very transparent manner on electronic bidding platform. And the Bharat Bond ETF is going to invest in these bonds through a SEBI approved allocation, preferential allocation method.
Okay. Okay. Why invest now in Bharat Bond ETF when your equities, equity markets are so buoyant and are giving you much better returns?
Kitu, the question is why not now? The reason, see, you look around, there is hardly any return available in the bond market. Since the pandemic and globally, central banks have reduced benchmark rates to such an extent that there is so much of liquidity out there, but there is hardly any return available to clients, right? Currently, this is something what is called as fiscal repression, where the inflation in the system is higher than the kind of return that investors are going to get. As a result of that, there's a dearth of investment idea. And at that point of time, we believe that the Bharat Bond ETF 2032 is coming right at a time where the yield of the index is showing very attractive return, number one. And for those investors who are looking for long-term asset allocation all the way up to the maturity, given the average inflation in the system, we believe that the tax-adjusted returns from Bharat Bond ETF 2032 is going to be far superior as compared to any other comparable assets of similar maturity, similar asset class. And particularly while the Bharat Bond ETF is going to act like a bond, but the tax treatment is going to be like a mutual fund, which is one of the best in class. So I think investors are going to get high quality portfolio, superior tax adjusted returns, and liquidity on the exchange as and when they want it. So it's a win-win-win situation in our mind. And it's important also to note that after the first tranche in December 19 and second tranche in July 2020, the third tranche is coming after almost 1.5 years.
Yes. So how does indexation benefit the returns on this bond ETF?
So Bharat Bond ETF's taxation is like taxation of fixed income mutual funds, where any investors who remain invested for more than 3 years are eligible for long-term capital gains.
Okay.
And the way it is being done is that suppose you invest 100 rupees today, and based on our own calculation, assuming that the investor remain invested for the life of the instrument for about 10 years. So given the current YTM of the index, 100 rupee will probably become close to 190. Assuming 4% inflation that we are going to see over the same period, there are 11 indexation periods. So based on that, the inflation index is going to take 100 to 150. So that means 190 minus 140. 50, your 40 rupees, that is your gain. That is going to get taxed at 20%. So keeping that feature in mind, we believe that tax adjusted return of Bharat Bond ETF is far superior than any other instrument that you are going to get. Because if an investor goes and buys a similar kind of 10-year bond, right, the coupon is going to get taxed at a marginal tax rate,
right,
which makes it slightly unattractive from a tax adjusted returns perspective. While in case of Bharat Bond ETF, because it's a mutual fund structure, and we are going to reinvest that coupon that we are going to get from this number of bonds, the investors get shielded from the tax treatment. So it's a far superior tax strategy.
Are my investments locked in like it happens in fixed maturity plans?
Absolutely not. In fact, this is one of the most powerful incentive for investors to consider investing. There is zero lock-in. The moment investor, anytime they want to get liquidity, there are market makers on the exchange. Investors can go and sell these units on the exchange. Market makers are going to make market for Bharat Bond ETF during market hours on the stock exchanges. Currently, if you look at it, the remaining 4 Bharat Bond ETFs have a combined liquidity of close to about 100 to 130 crore a month. Okay, so it's quite attractive for investors to seek liquidity. Those investors who need short-term liquidity, they can also pledge the units to their banks and obtain financing at a very, very cheap rate. So that in case if there's a short-term requirement of funds, they don't have to necessarily sell units and incur tax angle.
What would you suggest, Dhaval, staying till maturity, or if there's a, somebody would need funds, redeem? I mean, what happens if I redeem before maturity?
See, we always expect investors to look at Bharat Bond ETF as the long-term fixed income asset allocation, right? And that's when you get the full benefit of investing in Bharat Bond ETF. Having said that, if investors have certain requirement of funds, they can always sell these units in the market, as I have just mentioned to you, or pledge it depending on their need. But in case if they sell before 3 years, then investors will be, the gains will be taxed at the marginal tax rate. If they hold it for longer than 3 years, as I mentioned, then clearly there is a long-term capital gains which are eligible for investors for more than 3 years.
What is the minimum investment amount? Can I invest if I do not have a Demat account?
Yes, I think the minimum investment is 1,000 rupees. I think this is one of the best strategy where for 1,000 rupee, you can get a diversified portfolio of high quality bonds. Nowhere else you are going to be able to get something like this at such a low expense ratio. So we have made it the most attractive for retail investors to participate in the NFO. Even after the NFO, if investors, like what you mentioned, they don't have a Demat account, investors can always invest through fund of fund.
Okay.
Yeah, this is.
So where does Bharat Bond ETF April 2032 fit in my portfolio? If I really want to get, give an exposure to the Bharat Bond ETF, what should be the allocation towards this bond issue?
See, again, not knowing your own fixed income allocation, it is our expectations that investors look at Bharat Bond ETF as the preferred long-term fixed income allocation. As I mentioned to you that it provides 100% allocation to AAA rated bonds at all points of time. So as a result of that, there is a peace of mind. Investors know that my money is not going to get invested anywhere else. So there is 100% peace of mind. There is a liquidity on the exchange, as I've just mentioned to you, and far superior tax adjusted returns. So not knowing how your fixed income allocation is looking, I suggest you strongly look at the prospects of adding Bharat Bond ETF in your portfolio for long-term fixed income allocation.
So if, for example, if I have 100 rupees to invest, my investment money is 100, that surplus money that I really want to get into different asset allocation. So what should be my percentage of allocation to this kind of a fund?
See, generally people go by 60-40 allocation, 60% in favor of equity, 40% in favor of debt. Again, depending on the age and the risk, that 60 could become 80 also. Or 50 also. For the remaining 40% or the remaining portfolio that normally goes for that, I suggest that Bharat Bond ETF should become at least half of that portfolio, given the bent towards its high quality instruments, very low expense ratio, and high level of liquidity, and superior tax adjusted return.
Any kind of risk that one needs to keep in mind before investing in Bharat Bond ETF?
The only risk in our mind is that these strategies are much more effective if investors remain invested till the maturity of the product. Okay. For any reason, if they have to redeem, then depending on what day and month of the year and for where are we on the interest rate cycle, there is a likelihood that the investor might not be able to utilize the full potential of the product in case if they decided to redeem in between. That probably is the only risk. For else, I think everything else is covered in what we have discussed.
Thank you, Dhaval, for your time. It was a pleasure speaking with you.
Absolutely. Thank you very much, Geetu, for having me.
Thank you.
Mutual fund investments are subject to market risks. Read all scheme-related documents carefully.